Hello. So happy Sunday. It's my Saturday. I'm sitting here in bed and I'm vlogging. Little Boo Radley, we have been very worried about him today. He's been very sick. He's been coughing. We're real worried about him. We hope he's okay. He doesn't feel very well. There's Tucker. He's watching over him. Alex is doing Snapchats or something. He's been doing this wheezing thing. We're so worried about him, little guy. Peepee. Hey, Peep. Peeps. Peepee does not care. So anyway, I wanted to say, first of all, I got a letter in the mail today from Sabrina. Okay, this totally made my day. It was so sweet. Didn't you think this was sweet, Alex? I read them to Alex. So she sent us, hold on a second. So she sent me a very nice card. Here it is. So Sabrina, thank you so much. And then, this is so cute. She sent these little envelopes with these cards. This was adorable. And this one says, to Peepee, to our little Peepee. And then you open it, it says at the top of it, you are so stinking cute. Are you ready for what it is? It's a poop. There's my thumbnail with the poop in it emoji. So anyway, and then you open it. Oh, it's got a little poop face in the front of it. And then you open it, and it says, Dear Peepee, we hope you are feeling better, and just know you brighten our day, Sabrina and Katie. So Sabrina and Katie, thank you so much. And then this one is like a phone, and it says, to Boo Radley and Tucker from Sabrina and Katie. And it's a pizza, because they love to eat. We were just talking about that, actually. And then it says, Boo and Tucker, you guys are so cute. Have fun when school starts back. LOL. Thank you so much, Sabrina. That was so cool. Boo does not like school. He wants to be homeschooled from now on. He said, Dad. Aw. He said, those B's and D's are so hard, Dad. Look at him. When I say that he gets in his little circle, this is what I mean. That's him in his little circle. Aww. What do you think about it, peeps? Ah, I'm like falling off the bed. What do you think about him being sick?
I think it's fine.
Alex, you were worried earlier.
I am worried. I don't think it's fine.
Tucker. Tucker. Do you want to be a movie star, Tucker? Look, we sometimes call Tucker a little cow. Because he looks like a little cow. Boo Rat. Peep, you're just kind of hanging out, aren't you? He says, I mean, I'm pretty much already a movie star. Aw. Come here. Who's my best friend? Who's my best friend? Are you my best friend?
Tanya.
Peepee, look, I love when Peepee, well, it's not hanging out anymore, but Peepee's little tongue hangs out. He's, oh, who's my best friend? Who's my best friend? Yeah, but we gotta be careful, don't we? Because when you play too much, look at this look on his face. That is a face that only a mother could love. When he gets rowdy, because they were playing with, well, I don't know what that toy one they were playing with. They were getting rowdy, and then, Peepee was having a hard... He started coughing. Didn't you? You gotta be very careful, Peepee. You tired, Peepee? He said, who, me? The night just got started. Night just got started. Aww. Little Boo Radley. Hi, honey. You okay, honey? You're gonna feel better. If you don't feel better by Monday, I'll take you to the doctor. I don't know if he's just tired or whatever. This one right here is like, hello, I'm ready. For whatever we have planned, I'm ready. Look, we have... Now, tell the story about Donald. So, Alex, this is from very before I met Peepee. But I keep it on my nightstand for him. So this was, what was this? This was like Peepee's very first toy.
Mm-hmm, one of two.
The first one was his giraffe.
Uh-huh.
And then this was his second toy.
Yeah, I guess I got it from a Happy Meal.
Look, oh, look
how I could afford back then to eat.
Oh, Peepee, do you remember that? You do? I don't think you do, honey. Do you remember when I came to the farm and I picked you up?
He remembers being dropped off at the foot of my steps and me opening the door and being like, oh my god.
So, Alex's ex got Pee-Pee for him, but I tell Pee-Pee a different story. And I say, Pee-Pee, do you remember when I came to get you from that farm, that mean farmer? And they called me and they said, come please pick up Pee-Pee from the mean farmer.
They weren't mean.
And I came and rescued you. And then you lived with me. And then we decided to bring your dad into the picture. And then Boo and Tucker came and lived with us.
And then BB says, whatever strokes your ego, you old crazy fuck.
Aww. Boo Radley, I'm sorry you don't feel well, honey. Here, I'm going to cover you up. There you go, bud. So, here's our night. Here's our night. This
Saturday night.
This is our Saturday night. I mean, every night's pretty much the same to me. So, this is what we did tonight. It was fun. We had a good time, didn't we? Yeah. It was kind of like a laid-back night. It was fun. So, my cousin Caroline, her son plays, what's that thing called? He plays drums at the School of Rock. So, like every season, they do like some kind of, what do you call it? Theme. And tonight it was Jimi Hendrix, and he's 16. So, we all we met downtown for dinner. It was Caroline, her husband Mike, David, Alex, and I, and then Caroline's friend. And, my husband is falling asleep quickly. And we went to, what was that restaurant called? McGivens?
Uh-huh.
McGivens, and it was like a Scottish pub. It was really fun. And it was like...
Was it Scottish or was it like British?
No, it was Scottish pub, because they had like Scotch eggs and stuff like that.
Gross.
I had, the eggs they got did look gross, but I had French onion soup, and then I had a grilled cheese sandwich and fries, again, tonight. Alex had... Look at Tucker, it's so funny. What did you get? He got a cheeseburger, and it was so weird. It was like this big, huge cheeseburger. Is that like... He didn't think it was weird. I thought it was so weird. He like had to like fold it over twice to like fit it on the... Oh, and then he didn't get a bun on it either, did you? Or did you?
Correct, I didn't get it. I mean...
No, he doesn't get it on a bun.
It came with a bun, but I didn't eat the bun.
So, and then... They all got... I thought you were going to get an ahi tuna salad, because you usually get... You love that ahi... Don't you like that? Seared ahi tuna? Like when you and...
That's an appetizer, but I don't like it as a salad.
They had it as an appetizer, too.
Yeah, but I didn't get that.
So that was where we ate. And then after that, we all went over to this place. It was really funny, because Alex and I used to go to... Like, before we knew each other... It was at... What was it called? Club Industry?
Uh-huh.
It's this old warehouse, and they used to throw, like, raves there. I actually saw RuPaul there years... Like, when I was, like... 22, and I had gone there like when I was 18 years old, and it was like real drugged out and stuff. So anyway, it's still really cool. Alex took a very cool picture on his Instagram of like this big mirror. But anyway,
go like it.
Go like his picture.
And follow me.
Go follow all of our social media and
all
follow
mine.
All Alex's, all mine. And
all mine.
Anyway, so we were there. It was fun.
Unfollow Peter. Actually, don't unfollow Peter. Just follow him, and actually, instead of watching this, like, follow all the commercials.
Such an idiot. So we had fun. They played like, well, they were supposed to play at 8 to 9, but they ended up playing from 8 to like 9:30, and
we were ready to go.
We were a little... No, it was fun, but we were a little ready to go. But man, these kids could play. I mean, what do you think the youngest one was? Like on drums? Like 5? 4 or 5? 7. We're so bad with ages. This kid was probably 4 or 5, and he was playing drums for Jimi Hendrix songs.
He just got his diaper changed.
No, he wasn't that young. But then it went all the way up to like 16 or 17. These kids were really good. It was incredible. They played like Star Spangled Banner. They played all kinds of Jimi Hendrix stuff. But it was kind of like, I said to my cousin Caroline, I go, this is kind of like for parents that wish they had been like rock star roadies back in the day, right? And because they're like, there's like all these like 55, 6-year-olds, they're all like jamming out. It was kind of a little embarrassing. And I kept on going to Caroline, like, go out there and dance, because like nobody was dancing. And Alex took Caroline and her girlfriend out there and danced, and they danced for one song. So
sometimes you just gotta be the motivation.
Yep, sometimes you gotta just be the motivation. Right, Pee-Pee? You think so?
Also, you just gotta be the one that shows off that you're the youngest and better looking out of everybody.
Who's my best friend, Pee-Pee? Are you my best friend? Who's my best friend?
Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Pee-Pee is my best friend in the whole world.
Agree?
Come here. Pee-pee, do you see that you're on camera?
Do you agree?
Yes, everything you say I agree with. That's how marriage works.
That's right.
Boo Radley?
I'm always right.
That's right. You're always right.
Phoebe, you're on camera. This is not that kind of show.
Boo Radley really doesn't feel well, honey. I can't tell if he's tired or if he's sick. He's not...
He's sick because he's not like that all the time.
He's not coughing anymore.
Does that mean he doesn't feel right?
You think maybe we should give him something to eat and see if You okay, bud? I'll call Tanya here in a bit and ask her what she thinks.
I just checked my Instagram and none of you have liked my picture yet.
Look at this smart ass. He is like totally, look at him. Look at him. He is like serious about this. He is, Tucker, do you have an Instagram? What is it?
No.
At Tucker Movie Star 1? What? How do you have an Instagram?
He doesn't have it. We're not.
You're Instagram famous. Do you know Boo Radley? Do you know the other Boo? Pee-pee, are you Instagram famous? I mean, of course I am. Look at me.
We're not that kind of parents. We're not those kind of parents that like make up like fake dumb Instagram for their dogs. And then like you're randomly checking your personal Instagram and you're like, oh my god, little Tucker liked my picture. No, little Tucker doesn't even know how to take a picture. You know, if little Tucker were actually be taking pictures and I'm on Instagram, he would like take pictures of like his like food and like, oh my god, like look where I pooped today. And look like, oh my god, like a new corner to like smell. Like not like
PP actually has his own Instagram. I started it a long time ago.
Because you're a loser.
PP has his own Twitter too, but I never get on there and do anything with him. I used to just say stuff like rough and woof. Look at PP. He's so funny. Do you see him? He's just watching me. Do you love me? How could you not love me?
He said no.
He said yes. He said I'm the most fantastic thing in the entire world. He said thank God you came and rescued me from that horrid farm. Now I live this bougie existence up in here. PP does. He thinks this is his house. He thinks that we're just lucky that we live here. To go get you food and things, right?
I mean, Phoebe, we are lucky that we have a roof over our heads, so...
That is true.
Put
that on my gratitude list every night.
Way to be humble.
All right, you guys, I'm going to get off here. So thanks for enjoying the show for so far, and I'll talk to you in just a little bit.
I'm still waiting for my likes.
You're waiting for your likes on Instagram? Go follow go like his pictures on Instagram. Cause you say goodbye.
Ciao.
Ciao. So Alex wanted to watch some TV. So I am going to get Tanya and we're going to get a fountain pop. Although I probably won't get a fountain pop. I'll probably just get like a Gatorade or something. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like a Diet Pepsi tonight. I haven't had a fountain pop like... God, it's been like a week now, I think. I don't know. You guys probably know better than I do. You're like, well, actually, 2 nights ago in your vlog, you had one. I can't remember. I know I don't get them as much as I used to. But anyway, jeez Louise. I texted Tanya and I was like, can dogs get sick? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And so I looked online and like all of the symptoms... I was like, can dogs get colds? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And all of the symptoms that Boo has are symptomatic of a dog cold. So, like sneezing, he's got this cough, but it just sounds like his eyes are watering. And, but he is eating normally. So, I don't know. He just seems really tired. That's like the main thing. And the thing is that Boo is tired all the time anyway, so it's really hard to tell. I mean, you know, whether or not it's... I mean, he's just a hard dog to tell that with because he is so tired all the time. Like, he sleeps. But when I was looking at this stuff online, it said that the average dog needs 12 to 14 hours of sleep a day. Like, that is crazy town to me, that dogs need that much sleep. So, anyway... If he's not better by Monday, I'll take him to the vet and just keep a close eye on him. Alex is gonna carry him downstairs with him so he sleeps on his lap down there while he's watching TV. Tomorrow, I have my meeting tomorrow night. And I didn't go last week because we were doing something, I think we were doing something with our family last Sunday, or Alex and I went out to dinner or something. So I didn't go last week, and the 2 weeks before that were New Year's and Christmas. So I haven't been to this meeting in 3 weeks, so I'm excited about that and see some friends of mine. And then during the day, he is going over to Jason and Melissa's with Kayla, our friend Kayla that we went to like the music thing with, because apparently she's like auditioning for The Voice or something. She like made it, I don't know, like past a certain round or something. So she's going over there with him to like practice, because like Jason's a musician and was in a band back in the day and has a studio in his basement and stuff. So I might go over there. It depends on when I get my videos done. I might go over there and hang out with Melissa. Although they're getting back in town from like New Orleans, so I don't know, New Orleans. So I don't know what time they'll be back in town. But Alex is like, I think they fly back in at noon. And I'm like, well, you really think they're going to want to like fly in and do something like an hour and a half later? Probably not. I had so much fun hanging out with Caroline tonight. I don't get to hang out with her very often. And that restaurant we went to was, I mean, it's just like a little pub downtown, but it was really fun. I hadn't had French onion soup in so long. And I really liked it. I missed it. My mom used to make it in these like metal soup things that she has. I still have them. And I've been like on a soup kick lately. I don't know what that's about. Tanya's been talking to me about these like soups that are really healthy and they're like low sodium. They're supposed to be like really good for you. Like vegetable and minestrone soup. This restaurant we went to tonight, they had so many vegetarian options. They had vegetarian chili. They had, well, I had a grilled cheese, but then they had like stuff that you wouldn't like normally think was vegetarian. Like they had a vegetarian taco salad, and it was like a Scottish pub. That kind of surprised me. They had like 3 or 4 like main courses that were like specific, like it said in the title, like vegetarian, which I thought was very cool. Because then you know that they're going to be just as good as, you know, anything else that you get on the menu. Most likely, you know, because they try to do that, so. All right, well, I'm pulling into Tanya's, and I don't know if she's going to want to be on camera. Probably not, since she never wants to anymore. She's always like, no, I don't look good. My hair looks bad. I'm like, okay, Tanya. So I better get off here before she gets on. I can't believe people still have their Christmas lights up. I mean, I still have my Christmas tree up, but it's just because I keep on forgetting to take it down. It's so little. Anyway, I'm going to try to coerce her into coming on the vlog, but she'll probably say, okay, fine, but just put me over there so you can't see me, and then I'll try to, like, tilt the camera. All right, you guys, I'll see you in a little bit. All right. Well, I just dropped Tanya off. She didn't want to go, or she didn't want to be on the vlog because she was in her Superman pajama pants, and she had a ski hat on. She's like, I am not being in your vlog tonight. I'm like, okay, whatever, Tanya. Oh, my God. I don't know why my head has been hurting for like 3 days now. It's like crazy, and it's like all pressure. It's like, I can't tell if it's a migraine or a headache, but it's like pressure. It's like right here and here, so I think it's a migraine, but I've been taking a leave, and it's not really helping a whole lot, so. And I've been getting enough sleep, and yeah. I had caffeine today, and it didn't really help. In fact, actually, after I got my coffee, it hurt a little bit more. So, it's kind of a pretty night outside. There's like stars everywhere. It's like very, very clear out. I'm like way out in the country on the interstate right now though, so. I need to get my car washed. It is so dirty. Caroline and I were talking tonight about, so Caroline's 3 years older than I am. We were talking about when she was in high school, and it's so funny because her son is very much like who I would have been friends with in high school, and she is, she's not like that. I mean, she was like the popular crowd and in high school, and so I was telling him, I was like, your mom, so Caroline graduated from high school in '87, and like every day she wore like those jeans with the zippers like at the very bottom, you know, on the side, and then she wore like a gray sweatshirt with like a white turtleneck underneath it, and then she wore like those, what do you call it? Those Reeboks with the thing that went around the top. They're like high top Reeboks that girls always wore that had like those, you know, the Velcro strap across it. She wore those like every day. always been such a hard worker. Like, I can remember when we were in high school, like, my dad specifically did not want me to work so that I could focus on my grades. That meant hanging out with my friends. That was like my dad's rule, that I didn't work in high school. And then in the summers, he always wanted me to get a job. And I'd be like, hey, Dad, can I borrow some money so I can get, like, put gas in my car and, like, go and put applications in? And by the middle of July, he'd be like, hey, have you ever heard back from those applications that you borrowed that gas money from me? I'm like, oh, no. By, like, my senior year, he was like, did you ever go turn in any applications? I was like, yeah, I turned in a few. I never turned in one. It's weird because, like, I have kind of, like, really strong work ethic. I never used to call in sick and stuff. And, I mean, now working for myself, it's like, who do you call in sick to? You know, if you're sick, you get up and you work, period. And I remember that when I was, like, a little kid, like, my mom didn't have a problem with me being sick. I was sick a lot. I mean, I wasn't, but I just didn't like going to school. School was hard for me, you know, and, socially and academically. And but my dad, if I was, like, staying with my dad and I wanted him to call me in sick, he'd be like, who do I call in sick to, you know, like, he's like, no, I have to go into work, so do you, and, like, I totally get that. What's really weird is that when I, you know, was working for other people, like, I loved it so much, and I felt so dedicated that, like, I never called in sick, and, I can remember working with people that would call in sick all the time, and I'd just be like, and, you know, like, if you ever challenged them on it, because I was a supervisor over a lot of people at one point. You know, you'd always get people that were kind of problematic, and they would get a sick day, you know, they would accrue a sick day, and then they would take it, like, immediately. And, you know, you have to have conversations with them over time, and I'd sit there and they'd say, it's my time to use, you know, and it's just like, ugh. And the way that the facility that I worked at was that if you accrued one sick day, but you got a doctor's note for 3, you could take 3 days off for 1 sick day. So we would get people that would totally abuse the system. It was really, I mean, it was bad. And, you know, I work for a non-for-profit organization, and I remember we had this girl, and, I mean, it wasn't her fault, but she, like, they had taken, like, all of the patients in the hospital to, like, a football game. And she had fallen down the stairs, like the cement stairs at the stadium, and she had, like, broken her leg, and it was, like, in a boot and everything, and she couldn't work for, like, 6 weeks, and she was on workers' comp. I mean, and none of it was her fault, right? But I don't think she was somebody that really wanted to work a ton anyway, you know? And, so the problem with that is that, like, you know, when you work for, like, organizations that don't have a lot of money, you can't replace that person. Like, you can't, we just didn't replace her, you know, because basically she was getting paid for not working. And so, you know, we had to wait until she came back, and then I'll never forget, she came back, and a week later she put in maternity leave. We were like, oh my God, we're totally screwed, you know? And, that kind of stuff just really baffled me back in the day, that people, I don't understand that kind of stuff, you know? It's like, there are certain things that mean a lot to me in life. It's like, I can't stand liars, you know, just own your truth, be honest with me, and we'll be fine. Like, you know, even if you lie about something, come to me, be honest about it. You know, that's how I kind of live my life. I'm also a man that, like, you know, shakes, my word is good for what I say. So if I say, hey, I'm going to be here at a certain time, I suit up and I show up. If I say I'm going to do this, and I expect the same thing in return from people, you know? And I don't think that's a lot to ask in life. And I have, in my time of being an adult, met so many people that do not play by those rules, you know, whatsoever. They just are like, their word is not worth anything, and, you know, it's just, isn't it so sad? Like, I feel like I've met so many people like that. I walked outside the house tonight, this is totally random, I walked outside the house tonight, and our neighbors, I could smell, like, their fireplace burning. So we all have wood burning fireplace, I think most of us do. Excuse me, in my neighborhood we have wood burning fireplaces. We haven't had a fire yet this winter, I want to have one, and, I could smell it coming out of their fireplace, and it smelled so good because it's so cold. It's 6 degrees here right now. Tuesday is supposed to be a high of 9, and it's like winter everywhere. It's like snow and ice everywhere. The roads are clear now, but it's like a winter wonderland, and like that crisp, you know, that winter crisp air, and then you like to smell like the fireplace smoke coming out of a chimney on top of it just made me feel so homey. I was like, oh, I love that smell. And I was like, I want to have, Alex and I have been talking about having a night where we watch like old Alfred Hitchcock movies or old scary movies, and I've been like listening to this book called The Woman in the Window, and it talks a lot about like old movies like that in there. It like references them constantly, and like Casablanca and the, you know, A Shadow of a Doubt and Rear Window and the Thin Man series and Arsenic and Old Lace. I think they talk about that one in there. But anyway, maybe they don't talk about Arsenic and Old Lace. The Big Sleep, I think she talks about that in there. But anyway, all these old movies, you know, and I was thinking tonight, I was like, it would be really fun to like make a big pot of chili and then like make a fire and watch some of those movies. A friend of mine a couple years ago, she bought me the entire collected works of Alfred Hitchcock. So I have like every Alfred Hitchcock movie. And Alex and I watched one night, he had never seen an Alfred Hitchcock movie, and we watched Rear Window, and we watched what do you call it? Rear Window and The Man Who Knew Too Much. And he loved them both. It's funny how you like kind of remember things differently though. Like Rear Window I've always loved. It's one of my all-time favorite movies, not just an Alfred Hitchcock, but one of my all-time favorite movies. And like I had forgotten how much like I loved that movie. But The Man Who Knew Too Much, like I forgot about that. Not the original like 1930 version, but the one with like Doris Day. Que Sera, Sera. Do you guys remember that movie? Did you ever see it? It's fantastic. It's very eerie though. But like I had forgotten some stuff with it. And then there's like all these like 80s movies that I love too that are like mysteries, like Foul Play. And I love those Goldie Hawn 80s movies like Foul Play, and then that was followed up by Seems Like Old Times. Seems like old times. But no, not the song, but the movie. And it's like they're different characters though, but they still play out. Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn play off of each other. I love Foul Play, where she's a librarian and they're trying to kill the Pope. Do you guys remember that movie? It's so good. And it starts off with that Barry Manilow song at the beginning, and she drives along the coast. I love that movie. And then Seems Like Old Times is when she has like all the dogs, and she's in bed, and her husband's like an attorney, and Chevy Chase is like a criminal, and he just got out of jail. He's like hiding out, and she keeps on bringing him food, and she's like real rich. I love that movie. All of those old Goldie Hawn ones I love. I love like, oh shoot, Overboard. Overboard is Alex's mom's like favorite movie besides Mamma Mia. And then I love, what's the other one? Oh, Private Benjamin. So good. We are family, all my sisters and me. I love that movie so much. All of us sat at Alex's mom's house. This was probably like 2 months ago. And was it there or was it at, it was Thanksgiving, and it was at, no, because we did Thanksgiving at his mom's house. I can't remember when it was. We all went over to Alex's aunt's house. We sat there and we all watched Overboard. It was like on, like, you know, like a marathon of Overboard. It was one after the other. And we sat there and watched it. And I had forgotten how much I loved that. Now, little unknown fact about Peter Monn. When I've told this on here before. Any facts that you might want to know if you watch my vlog, they're all hidden in here in the vlog. Hold on a second. Dustin Daly. So, okay, Dustin, you guys know, is a friend of mine, and he, hold on a second, I'm gonna tell you what the channel is called. He was watching this video, and then it turned into another one, and he fell asleep, and he had like horrible nightmares, and it's called like Scary Stories, but it's all like done, like it's this guy telling scary stories, but it's all told to the background of thunderstorms. People think that like all drama channels do is talk about drama. We never talk about drama, you know, like hardly ever. Talk about like, hey, what are you and Alex doing, and all this kind of stuff. And Alex and I, like tonight on the way home, we were talking about like, you know, we had talked about like renewing our vows because we're coming up on it being like 8 years or 10 years. We know we want to do it like one or the other. And okay, well, no way, 7 years. 11 to 2000, it'll be 7 years this year. And so we're thinking about we want to like get like 5 couples together, like Melissa and Jason and Aaron and Eric, and maybe like go back to Mexico where we went last year and renew our wedding vows. And but we'd also talked about Vegas, and Alex is like, I don't really want to do it in Vegas because we already got married in Vegas once, so like let's do it somewhere else. And then we want to do it like, or we want to like just have it here at like one of our parents' house and throw a big party and then go on like a second honeymoon. We've been talking about that too, like somewhere really cool. Alex is dying to go to Thailand, and I really want to go to like Fiji or the Maldives. So we're trying to kind of look at like prices and stuff like that. I know they say if you're going to go to the Maldives, they'll go in the next couple of years. So anyway, Dustin fell asleep and he woke up and he was having nightmares because he was listening to this. You know, like when you end up, like you're watching a video on YouTube and then it rolls into something else, and it rolled into the scary stories in the thunderstorm or something like that. I said, link it and send it to me. I want to listen to them. So anyway, what was the story I was telling? Oh, unknown fact about Peter. I think I've told this story on here before. So my dad used to have this conference in Chicago every December, around like the 14th of December, and so we would go up to Chicago. He and my stepmom went up there for the whole week, but I would fly up there on like Thursday and like Wednesday night after school, then I would miss Thursday and Friday. And then we would like go out to plays. I've talked about this on here, haven't I? I'm almost positive I have. Because we would always go to the play Sheer Madness, and I love that play. And my dad and Alex are gonna do like a little business project together, which is kind of exciting. So anyway, they are so funny together. My dad and Alex like text and talk to each other. I'm like, and I'll be sitting there, I'll be like, who are you texting? He's like, your dad. And I'm like, what? He's like, oh yeah, he's telling me about this book to read. It's called The Mother Tongue, and it's about like, you know, like basic languages around the world and whatever. My dad like reads all this kind of stuff. He and Alex are so into the same kind of like things intellectually. It's so strange. So anyway, but I used to go up there and then I would stay with my dad and my stepmom. I mean, we would all like, you know, have our own hotel rooms and stuff like that. Well, they would have their hotel room and I would have mine. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So then we would like go out to see plays, go out to dinner and stuff like that, and I loved it. But for Christmas that year, like the year I was like 14, oh, I have shared this on here because somebody went and found it, and they found me. Anyway, my stepmom doesn't look anything like she did on that episode. On that episode, I think she has a red dress on, and she looks very much like Mary on Little House on the Prairie. Today, my stepmother looks like Vegas. I mean, she just looks like Vegas. My stepmom's very tall, and she's, you know, younger than my dad, and lots of flair. She's very, very cool dresser. And so anyway, but I went down to the concierge and I asked the concierge if they could get tickets to Oprah. And this would have been in like, so if I graduated in 90, this would have been like 85, 86, 84, something like that. Would have been like when she would have first started. Like, I don't know what year, 85, 86, I don't know, whenever Oprah started, it was around then. Well, we go to the show and it's Goldie Hawn with Overboard. So like we watched like most of the movie I think we watched the whole movie first, and then they had Goldie Hawn on there as a guest, and like Oprah interviewed her, and people could ask questions in the audience. And my stepmom actually asked a question. She asked, how do you manage like having a full-time career and kids at the same time? And I'm sitting like right next to her. You can see me in like the clip if you can find it. I'm like, I have like a plaid flannel shirt on, and that's Peter at 14 years old. Which is weird because later when I would watch Oprah, I would never see kids in the audience. So I think it's so funny that, you know, like, I don't know how we went, but I remember like when we walked out, I always say I would love to meet Oprah Winfrey. And, you know, I have met Oprah because when you go out, well, this is at the end of the show, she would stand at the end and everybody would leave. And then she would, I'm like way out somewhere where I have no clue where I'm at. She would shake everybody's hand and, you know, say, oh, it's really nice to meet you and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. That car was turning around too. That was weird. So I guess I did meet Oprah. Who knew, right? I bet she still talks about it. I bet she's like, oh my God, that time I met Peter Monn. There he is, still talking about me. Obsessed. Yep. I got to read some today. Oh my God, my nose is driving me absolutely crazy, you guys. I trimmed my beard and I cannot get these hairs like are right on top of where my mustache is. There's always like 2 that I miss. I like sit there and I get so close to it and I'm like trimming it with these little scissors and I cannot get it. I hate trimming my beard. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. People ask me all the time, they're like, oh my God, your beard looks so nice. How do you get it so? I'm like, I just trim it with a 2 guard on it and then I shave all around it and that's it. And my dad's always jealous because he has a beard too. And he's like, how do you, like, he has like splotches, like just little ones that like it doesn't fill in all the way. And he's like, how do you like get it so perfect? And it's like the last time I was like showing him, I was like, okay, Dad, here's what you do, you know. He's like, now do you take a comb? He was like, you know, the person that cuts my hair told me to put like no, I don't do all that. So anyway, shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. Seems like old times. I'm going to the casino to meet Lori, but truth of the nature is I have not heard from her, which means she's probably pulling this on me again, that she's not going to the casino. I said, call me and let me know. She goes, okay. That was a half an hour ago. I still haven't heard from her. Now I'm all the way up here. So I just kept on driving. I thought, well, screw it. I'll just vlog. I was talking about Oprah. So yeah. I'm trying to think of other famous people that I've met. Well, a lot, because Alex and I used to interview a lot of like kind of D-list celebrity types for our website. What's really funny is, like, I remember when I would like interview these YouTubers, and some of them at the time only had like 20,000 subscribers, and I can remember thinking to myself, oh my God, they have so many subscribers. They have 20,000 subscribers. I was like, you guys, like, when I talk about being an uber fan of YouTube, like, that is no lie. Like, I've been a super fan of YouTube for a while, and there's this kid, I can't think of what his name is. He's not a kid, I mean, he's like almost 30 now. But I used to watch his videos a couple years ago, and we interviewed him for our website. And like, I follow him on Twitter, and I didn't even know that I followed him on Twitter. And it said something, and like, so I went to his YouTube channel. I haven't watched his videos. Do you guys ever like watch somebody for a long time, and then you just stop? You don't even know why. I don't even know why I stopped watching his videos. And I went to his channel, and he has like 40,000 subscribers, and I was like, that is so surreal that like when I interviewed him, like he had 20 or 30, and I was like, oh my God, he's a huge YouTuber. Because it was to me, you know, like that was so cool to me. It's like, I think anybody that we watch on YouTube, we think of like in that way, you know what I mean? Which is why I try to just kind of always be myself and never be anything any different. Because I mean, it just, we are no different than anybody else just because we flip on a camera and talk to somebody. And like, that's why I would, you know, I don't know. I just wish I could meet every one of you out there. I think it would be so cool. I talked about on here, and then somebody said something in the comment sections that they're like, yes, that's what you should do. Long time ago, about if I ever do a meet and greet, I want to rent out a bowling alley, and we'll have pizza, and we'll do like that cosmic bowling. I love that cosmic bowling so much. But anyway, so I interviewed him. I can't remember what his name is now. But we interviewed, like at the time, we interviewed Davey Wavy, and that interview got us so many, so many views on our website. He was so nice. I'll never forget talking to him on the phone, and I was just like in awe. I was like, he's not really my shtick, honestly. Like, I mean, like, I think Davey Wavy's a nice guy, but like, that's just not, I don't watch any of his videos anymore, none. Like, I haven't watched Davey Wavy in years. But I was kind of like, you know, I don't know, it's like that whole genre of like all of those like YouTubers, you know, that were like gay and very confident. And, you know, I had just left an environment where I worked where, well, it was a couple years after that, but like I was not out at work. And so, you know, I've always been comfortable and been out and been confident with my friends, but like with people I don't know, like I'm totally not this person today. Like today I'm like, hey, take me or leave me, you know, like this is who I am. But it really helped me, I think. You know, like I can remember like that is one of the things I loved about Gigi Gorgeous, and we actually interviewed Gigi before she transitioned. And like, I just would watch her videos and I would just think, you know, like, she so gets life, you know, she just gets life about, you know, being yourself and not taking any shit, and it, you know, but doing that with compassion, and she just was so sure of herself, you know, and I think that's sometimes why I like, it bothers me that she's changed a lot. But yeah, so we got to interview so many cool people, a lot of YouTubers, tons of them, Will and RJ, I can't remember who else, but anyway, and then I'm trying to think of like my favorite interview that we ever did. Well, of course, Alex loves all the DJ interviews because he gets to go and meet them. Like, he does them all in person now. So when we go to music festivals, he interviews DJs at music festivals. Our whole website is all DJs now at this point. Well, I don't have anything to do with the website. I haven't had anything to do with it for years. But I used to do a lot on it. Let's see. Who's my favorite? Well, Jackie Collins, hands down. Jackie Collins, and if you guys watch RuPaul's Drag Race, Roxy Andrews on there, her drag mother, Erica Andrews, is my, besides Alyssa Edwards, is probably, I mean, even actually including Alyssa Edwards, she's my all-time favorite drag queen of life, female impersonator. And I love her so much. So, all right, I'm going to call Lori, so let me get off here and I will be right back. Hello. It's so cold. I'm leaving the casino. It is 3 a.m. Lori did not show up. But I went in anyway. She even she texted me, she goes, oh, I'm staying home, and I had just gotten here. And I was like, I'm going in anyway. I had 2 weeks ago taken out $140 to go to the casino to meet her. And every time I get up here, she's not here. So I've been leaving, and the $140 has just been in my wallet. And I've talked on here before about how I'm so weird with my checkbook, and so I knew that I'd already taken it out, and written the receipt, and so what's in my checkbook, I was well, I've already spent it, right? So I had taken another 20 and paid for half of our tip last night at Cheesecake Factory because we used gift cards. And oh my god, cold. And then tonight I bought us drinks when we were at this concert thing with the other 10, so I had 120 left, and then I took 40 out. So really I felt like I only spent 40. And at the exact same time, I was playing two different machines. So I play quarter machines that the max bet is 50 cents, so you play 2 quarters. And at the exact same time, I hit $180 on this machine. I mean, I hit them both at the same time, like this. So on this machine, Butterflies, I hit $180, and on this machine, Red Hots, I hit $360. And then I hit $60, and then I hit $120, and I ended up leaving with $600 even. Because I was I want to leave ahead. Because usually I cut even, or I'm down 40, so I'll feel oh, I only spent 40. So tonight I left way ahead, and I was okay, I'm realistically, I'm 500 ahead, 450 ahead, something like that. But I was okay, it really feels like I'm, 560 ahead, because I really only took out 40, is how it feels. That's called gambling rationalization, is what it's called, anyway. I don't really enjoy coming as much anymore. I used to go a lot, and even if my, Lori wasn't there, my other friends that I meet up there weren't there, I didn't really care, but I don't really enjoy it as much anymore. And there was this guy that was playing tonight that I know. It's older guy, so he and I were just sitting there talking, and I mean, it's just casino chat. You guys go to if you go to the casino, you know what I'm talking about. It's just casino chat. It's I felt so bad for him though, because he sat down and I never bring I mean, some people bring, I mean, he told me he had put $500 in these 2 machines the last time he came. I've never spent that kind of money at the casino. I mean, not even in Vegas. I am so weird about like, I take a certain amount and then I leave. If I'm like, I don't even spend it, I won't even spend it all. Like, I always have to leave with some money. So, like, if I start getting low, I'm like, okay, I'm leaving, right? Oh my God, my battery is dead. How is my battery dead on this? The same thing that happened last night. So anyway, it got toasty warm in here really quick. It says 6 degrees outside. Well, I'll just keep on talking until the battery does whatever it's gonna do. But I felt so bad for this guy because he like shot through like $100 really quick. He's like, I only brought 100. He's like, because I didn't really want to spend that much tonight. And so then like he looked at me like right after I'd hit all that money. He goes, I have to go back to the ATM. Are you gonna be here for a second to watch my machines? And I was like, yeah, I'll watch them. Don't worry about it. And I felt bad. And he came back and he put 100 in each machine. And I was like, damn. I see some of these people like, I mean, I go, so I know them, you know, but it's like, I now go like maybe once every 2 weeks. I can't remember, the last time I went was with Lori, and she told me tonight she hasn't been there in like a while, so 2 weeks probably that I haven't been there, 2-3 weeks, I don't know. It gets kind of old sometimes playing the same machines. I really like machines with bonuses, but they're so expensive to play. And like when you play these like old ass machines, you can play forever, you know, on like 20 or 40 bucks, and that's what I like. I just enjoy playing, you know. So anyway, that was fun. So I walked out with $600. There's my washer and dryer. Or there's my dryer, I should say. Like turn the heat up and then the heat gets like really high and then I want to take my coat off, but I can't take my coat off while I'm driving. So I don't ever talk about this, but like, so the way from Indianapolis or Anderson to Indianapolis or Anderson to, or Indianapolis to Anderson is you take 37 north or 69 north, and but you can take like side roads back too, right? So if I don't leave super late, like you guys know, 3 o'clock in the morning is not super late for me. It takes me about 20 to 30 minutes to get like door to door. But I want to listen to a little bit of my audiobook. So I take this country road, I get up on the lapel exit, and I go all through the country. And I always think of ideas for books when I'm doing this because like, it's these country roads, and I've always been like, I don't know what it is, intrigued by these like, just these farmhouses, you know, and you can like see inside, and like most of them have like, you know, stuff over their windows so you can just see like they're up, or, you know, a lot of times, I feel like I was talking about this just like a week ago, but like sometimes you can like see like upstairs, you can see like like when you drive by, you can see like the TV, like, you know, flashing off the wall and stuff like that, and they always look like these cozy homes that like are just like so comfy, you know. But they're like kind of scary at the same time. It's like, I don't know that I would really want to live there in like one of these farmhouses, you know? And there's this little city that you drive through, like going from Lapel to Noblesville, Indiana. And I know a couple people that watch me like are from Noblesville, which is funny. I drive through Noblesville all the time. And I used to go to a lot of meetings in Noblesville. I still go to a meeting in Noblesville every Tuesday. Noblesville is a suburb that's probably 10 minutes north of where I live. So anyway, but there's this little town that you drive through. I don't even know what it's called. It's literally 4 stop signs, and that's it. And you can tell where it used to be like a little like general store or whatever. And there's little towns like that all over Indianapolis or Indiana. They're very cool, but I can't imagine living there. My husband would never. He would never. I mean, I kind of like the idea of it, of having like a farm out in the middle of nowhere, but like, I'm like, would you really, like, if you really lived there, would you really, you know what I mean, like, be happy there? I like the idea of it until I'm actually doing it, and then I think maybe I'd feel a little remote and kind of scared. And y'all know how I am about serial killers. If my husband was out for the night, I'd probably be terrified. It's now 3 degrees. This is just going to be a cold-ass winter. I need to get the book, The Long Winter. I want to reread The Long Winter by, you know, Laura Ingalls Wilder. Have you guys read the Laura Ingalls Wilder's book, by Laura Ingalls Wilder books that were based on, you know, like The Little House on the Prairie? They're so good. The Long Winter is the best one, I think. I haven't read it in forever. My mom and I read them together like years and years and years ago. I'm hungry. Sometimes I stop at this gas station on the way and I get cheese sticks, and I don't mean like hot cheese sticks, I mean like sticks of cheese and potato chips and an orange juice. That's kind of my late night snack, which is so unhealthy, but it is good. I'm a mouse. Oh my god. So my nephew Sebastian, he is obsessed with Mickey Mouse now, having been to Disney World. And he has this little Mickey Mouse stuffed animal that he carries everywhere. But he's going to be 2 in 2 weeks. And they're having his birthday party at 10 a.m. I think I mentioned that on here. I'm like, who has a birthday party that early in the morning? Oh my god. And we have to go. I mean, he's my godson. I have to go, right? Of course, I want to be there. Not at 10 a.m., but I want to be there. But he cannot say Mickey Mouse, and so he says Mau Mau. It's so cute. Seeing little kids that are bilingual is like amazing to me, that I cannot pick up languages at all to save my life. You know, that I've been married to my husband for 6.5 years and in a relationship with him for 9.5 years, and I cannot speak Spanish to save my life. I was horrible at languages in high school, horrible at languages in college. I took French in high school and college. I cannot pick up languages to save my life. And yet my nephew Carlitos goes in and out of Spanish. He speaks Spanglish, so like half of his sentence will be in English and the other half will be in Spanish. He goes in and out, in and out, in and out of Spanish and English. And Alex's youngest brother Fufu, Juan Carlos, the one that moved, he does that too, because he moved here when he was 4. So like when he was learning to speak, he spoke both Spanish and English, and he doesn't really have an accent when he speaks Spanish either. And they kind of tease him about it sometimes. He has like an American accent or something. I don't know what that means, but like an American. I guess if you speak Spanish as a first language, you'll know what I'm talking about. But they kind of tease him because like he is the only one in the family that doesn't have like a Venezuelan accent, which is interesting to me. Like culturally, like, you know, I don't think we like in the United States, I don't think we're very aware of like other countries. You know, when I watched that video for the very first time, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's TED Talks, where she talks about the danger of a single story, and I've talked about this on here many times. I love that, and I love her work. I just think she is a phenomenal, phenomenal woman. I think she is, not to quote Maya Angelou, but I love that poem as well, Phenomenal Woman. Do you guys know that poem? Janet Jackson actually read that poem by Maya Angelou in Poetic Justice, which is one of my all-time favorite movies with Tupac Shakur. Have you guys seen that movie? It's fantastic. Anyway, in the TED Talks, if you haven't seen it, it's called The Danger of a Single Story. I think everybody should have to watch this video. There's so much crap on YouTube, and then there's so much like wisdom on YouTube, and a lot of us choose to just watch this crap that goes on. And hey, listen, I'm not saying that I put out wisdom all the time. I mean, half the shit I put out there is crap, I know that, but I try to do it at the expense of maybe making somebody's day a little bit brighter. But so she talks in there, you know, about like when you live in other countries, that the way that you look at the United States is, you know, you have TV, you have movies, you have gangster movies, you have Mean Girls, you have TV shows like 90210, but then you also have like, you know, LA Law, and you have Little House on the Prairie, and we have the other countries have all these different views of what the United States looks like, right? But for us, we don't have that, and we're very closed-minded about worldview. So like when we think of Africa, we think of like tribal Africa, right? Which is ignorant. I mean, it's totally ignorant. And she said that like when she moved here, I'm trying to clean my windshield. I knew that would happen. My windshield wiper fluid is like frozen up. But anyway, she said that when she moved here and she went to Princeton, like she met her roommate, and her roommate was like excited to hear her tribal music, and she was like, you know, she was surprised when I brought out my Mariah Carey CDs. And then she said that, like, in a class, she wrote about her neighborhood, and it was, like, residential, like, Nigeria, and a professor was like, something to the extent of, that's not the Africa that I know, and you got it wrong, or something like that, you know? And I think it's interesting when you see these different worldviews, and I remember the very first time I went to Miami with Alex, and to see him outside of his family, so entrenched in the Latino culture. I mean, it was so cool to see him, like, he knew every song, you know, songs that he was raised on. We would be at restaurants, every song, he knew every song. You know, we would go in stores, and he would just immediately start speaking Spanish to people, and it was like, I remember we were in this one store, and it was like a jewelry store, like kind of a hippie-ish jewelry store, and the woman was beautiful in there that worked in there. We left, and he said something, and I said, he had said to her something about, like, being from Colombia. I could understand, I mean, I understand enough Spanish to understand what they're saying. So when he left, I said, how did you know that she was from Colombia? And he goes, her accent. And I said, what do you mean her, like, how can you tell she's from Colombia? He goes, every country has a different accent. Usually, a lot of different, if you know enough about those countries, you can tell what part of the country they're from. He's like, you know, so, like, Alex is, like, from Caracas, but, like, are really good friends of ours that, like, we're with all the time, and we travel with. They are from, oh shoot, I can't think of the name of the city now. It's the one that starts with an M. If you're from Venezuela, you would know, obviously. But it's more north, and it's more in the mountains. And he said, like, their accent is completely different than his and his family, because they're from Caracas. And he goes, it's no different than, like, being from the Midwest in Texas, or even being from, like, South Carolina and Texas. Like, those are two completely different southern accents, you know? And I was like, wow, that's, like, really true, but, like, we don't think of it that way, you know? I think it's a really ignorant attitude to think that all Latino people sound the same, because to us they just sound foreign and speak a different language. And for me, you know, it was really, like, very cool to see all these different nuances and how they worked. It's interesting also, like, Alex is very protective over the Spanish language. Like, he also he is not tolerant of people. And, like, when I say stuff like ain't and all that stuff, he hates that. I mean, he really hates it. It's one of his biggest pet peeves. Because he's like, if I can speak English and Spanish, and I can write and speak English correctly, then nobody else. I'm like, oh, Alex, like, double negatives and stuff like that drive him crazy. I'm like, well, it's kind of a twang, it's kind of a slang after a while, you know, that we all do here. He was like, yeah, I don't get it. I'm like, okay. But, and it's embarrassing to him, because he misspells stuff sometimes, you know, and he'll be like, I'll say, like, babe, you totally misspelled this, because he, like, asked me, like, when we first got together, he was like, if you see that I misspell something, like, sometimes he'll, like, tweet something out, and I'll be like, okay, you totally misspelled this word, and then he's like, well, how do you spell it? And what's interesting is that Alex learned phonetically. Like, he would watch TV shows, and that's how he learned English. Which is why if you hear him and you hear Carlos, they speak so completely different. Carlos sounds like Sylvester Stallone, and that was a lot of what he watched, was like those kind of TV shows and movies. And Alex sounds more like 90210, because he watched 90210 and Melrose Place, and those were the shows that he watched back in the day. And he picked up those nuances, and he learned phonetically. When he misspells a word, it's interesting, because I can see how he thought it out in his head phonetically. I don't know, it's just so interesting with, you know, the languages, and, like, one of the things that his mother has programmed into all three of them, Alex, Carlos, and Fufu, none of them will teach you anything dirty or bad in Spanish, period. They just won't. Now, Alex's aunt, Jackie, Tia, she teaches me shit all the time that's bad in Spanish. But, like, Alex won't. He's like, no, he's like, I don't like that when people do that, which I think is really funny, but, you know, I think it's kind of cool, too. Alex was also a Spanish major in college, and he really wants to study, and he also knows Portuguese, and he really wants to study, like, Romance languages, and, like, he really, like, Italian is, like, the next language he really, really wants to learn, and, he picks up languages very quickly. But Alex and his brother went to like boarding schools before they moved here. Carlos and him went to boarding schools before they moved here. And so they learned languages. I was gonna say they played tennis, because they did. They were like, Alex was like a big tennis player in Venezuela before he moved here. So anyway, I mean, not like professional, but like that was like his thing that he did. I don't think I've ever talked about this on here, that Alex and I play, like, we love to play tennis. So anyway, a couple of years ago, we like hadn't played, and I was like, we have our rackets in the garage, and I was like, we have 2 tennis courts, like, let's go play. So now it's like a thing we like to do in the summer. It's fun. And then go over and like go swimming right afterwards, and then go get a salad somewhere. It's kind of a fun summer thing for us. But anyway, the boarding school that he went to was actually a Swiss boarding school in Venezuela, and they taught both English and Spanish in this Swiss boarding school, which was interesting. He said that that they also taught French, but that like most people just like learned English and Spanish. And it was a different kind of boarding school. I don't understand like how it was like a boarding school. Like they like 4 days a week. It was like Monday through Thursday, they like stayed at the school, and then the weekend they were home or something like that. I don't know. So, Alex's mom is an engineer, and that's why they moved here. Actually, what is going on? Jesus, that car was just coming down right in the middle of the road. I almost didn't see it. I almost got in an accident. That was so scary. Oh my God. That's the second accident I've almost gotten into. I'm on this country road, and the car was like, it had one brake light out, and it was an old pickup truck, and it was backing down the middle of the road, like at like 50 miles an hour. It was the weirdest thing. Anyway, Little House on the Prairie. I love that one scene when Laura and Mary are there, and they've got their blue dresses on, and they go to Nellie's birthday party, and Nellie's like, those are pretty dresses, and Laura goes, they're our Sunday best, and Nellie goes, country girls. I love that so much. Country girls. Like one time I like searched it up on YouTube, and it's like a small clip. You can like, it's like just Nellie saying country girls. It's hilarious. I feel like my entire life is just one pop culture reference. Do you guys feel the same way? Like when people watch my videos, they're like, how do you like remember all this shit, all these songs? I'm like, this is my life. My life is just one big pop culture reference. Seriously. I was raised in pop culture. I read this book recently. I don't know if I talked about it on here, but it was called My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady somebody. It's fantastic. It's very, very good. And it's kind of strange. And, but it is actually about an exorcism and a demonic possession, but it all takes place in the 80s. And the pop cultural references are like fantastic. I mean, absolutely fantastic. He just absolutely nailed everything in the book. And it was so fun reading it because I had forgotten so much. And like it all started with them in a birthday party, and they were talking about E.T. and Reese's Pieces at this like, do you remember E.T. the movie? Like, I haven't seen that movie in forever. I tried to watch it a couple years ago, and it just wasn't as good to me as it like was years and years and years ago. See, I want to pull over and take my coat off, but I don't want to stop and I was going to show you like one of these houses. I don't want to stop and in the middle of Nowheresville. When I come up on that, how much time do I have left? It's like 8 minutes. I don't know if we'll reach that town by the time that the stars are so bright, so pretty. I was telling Tanya, I was talking to her about my gratitude list tonight that I've been doing. I was laying in bed last night. Did I already mention this? I think I may have already mentioned this, but I was laying in bed last night. I was so comfortable. The dogs were all around me, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to do my gratitude list. And I was like, oh, screw it, I'll just do it tomorrow. And then I was like, no. I was like, it'll take you 2 minutes to go downstairs and do it. So I went downstairs, and I got my gratitude book, and I sat on the stairs, and I just did it on the stairs really quick. I listed like 15 or 20 things. And that gratitude list is really making a difference in my life. You know, when you look at your world and you think about, like, you're putting things down there like spending time with your best friend, or date night with your husband, or having a warm house to sleep in, and, you know, food to eat, and clean and warm clothes to wear, you know, running water, clean water. I put on there every day having, you know, good health for the day, you know, a car that works, all that kind of stuff. The other stuff seems so very little in comparison, you know? It just really does. Like, then when something happens, it's like, it doesn't even seem to compare. And, I don't really know how else to explain it. Like, I just feel very full of gratitude right now in my life, and it keeps it, like, as a constant kind of thread. And, like, throughout the day when stuff happens or I'm doing something, I'm like, okay, this is going to be on my gratitude list later, you know? Like, Alex and I were, like, at dinner tonight, and I was talking to my cousin Caroline, and I kind of caught him out of the corner of my eye, and I turned and he was just, like, smiling at me, you know? It's like those looks from my husband, you know, or, you know, just like, I don't know, just little small stuff. Dancing with my cousin at this concert tonight, you know? And Alex holding my hand on the way home when we were driving home, or you know, PP, not Boo Radley's sick, but I think he'll be okay, you know, but like PP being good today, you know, and not being sick. And, I mean, he's sick, obviously, with the heart disease, but acting well, you know, and like today's a good day for him and stuff. So all of that means so much, you know, in the grand scheme of things. And, I think if I could give one piece of advice to anybody out there, no matter what your age is, I think I would say, you know, don't squander, don't waste 1 minute on things that don't really matter. And, like, you can't really tell somebody that until they've gone through some real shit, you know, because they won't really listen to it. But, like, getting caught up in conversations of, like, gossip. I mean, and I do that. I have a drama channel, but, like, I see it differently because I have, like, that's kind of like the videos that I like to make. But I don't spend hours on the phone, you know, like, talking about that stuff. Like, I just, you know, it's with my YouTube friends. I talk on the phone about going to Florida, or where we stay, or, you know, like, all that kind of stuff. Or, you know what I mean? Like, you know, what we had for dinner tonight, and on and on and on. It's like, you know, we laugh and we tell stories and about growing up, and I don't know, it's like, just, if I could tell anybody anything, I'd say don't waste 1 minute, you know, seriously. Like, our minutes, okay, so I think this is called Clarksville, I'm coming into it. It's like those minutes mean so much. They mean too much. They mean too much that we should squander those minutes away. Here's this little town, let me show you. Go really slow through here. Do you see it? Like, look. Can you guys even see? This is, like, spooky. Do you see? Look. And this is like a town. Like, most of the... I can't... And there's a little farmhouse over there. And that's the town. That's like it. Isn't that crazy? Can you imagine living in a little town like that? If you live in a little town like that, leave it in the comment section below. I think there's something so just mystical and magical about that. I don't know, it's so small. I love it. There's something about the smallness of things, you know? I love slow and small. I don't love, like, big cities, loudness. I mean, I like it to visit, but not for long. Like, there's something about that to me that I just is so, I don't know, like, it's just so very cool. To think that that was a town at one point, you know, probably like in the early 1900s or something, where people just, like, walked around. And you know, went and said hi to their neighbors and stuff like that. We don't do that as much anymore, you know? Just stop in and say hi to our neighbors. And I joke about my neighbors in my neighborhood, but maybe I'll make that my point this year, is to get along with my neighbors more and get to really know them, you know? I always say that they've never really gone out of their way to get to know me, but I've never really gone on my way to get to know them either. A few of them. When it's convenient, like at the pool or if I'm walking the dogs or something like that. I don't know, life's short. Life is short, don't squander the moments. Make your life matter, you know? Turn off your phones, turn off everything, and enjoy it with your loved ones. I had a great time tonight. I was like, I'm trying this thing where I only get on social media like every few hours, like every 4 or 5 hours, and it's been really nice, actually. But I love social media. I'm not going to lie about it. I do. This is going to cut off any minute now, so enjoy every minute with your loved ones. Make your life matter. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.